And another thing you can come and do is a 3-day workshop that I've developed called Living as an Intuitive Entrepreneur.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and it really is about learning how to access your intuition at will, mastering these 5 steps, but then learning how to apply that to investing and money and being entrepreneurial, and how to basically apply what I was talking about in the interview and our discussion before about knowing the ring of truth when it comes to making strategic decisions, knowing where your identity, where your beliefs want to take you, how to negotiate from that fortitude, that ring of truth, and not be manipulated, and some fantastic things.
Powerful stuff. Yeah. So just going back to what we were saying before, Robert Kiyosaki and Richard Branson, as 2 contemporaries, do this unwittingly almost. It's part of their makeup, but it is what they do. So what you're suggesting is you can train people to do that.
Absolutely, without question.
Right.
Without question.
That's a powerful place to take people.
Yeah, totally. Because once you get in touch with your intuition reveals to you what it is that you really love. And the whole thing about being an intuitive entrepreneur is, most entrepreneurs are all about building a business and being successful, making lots of money, maybe on selling it. But my whole thing is discover what it is that you're passionate about and what you really love, and then build a business around that. As opposed to building a business because it's what you believe you need to do to become wealthy in order to have what you love.
It's quite an indirect route when you put it like that.
It is a very indirect route, and whereas what I'm proposing is a very direct route to what you love, and creating wealth doing what you love, and being entrepreneurial doing what you love, and being an entrepreneur that's led entirely by your intuition and what rings true for you, and living from that inner fortitude.
That sounds fantastic. I'm just thinking while you're talking there that being an entrepreneur it can be quite a tough proposition anyway. People sort of big it up in a way. Sort of, I'd love to be self-employed or whatever. But like Kiyosaki says, the only difference between employed and self-employed is one that you have a job, and the other is you own a job. So it's not really necessarily where people want to be. But it's hard enough as it is. But let's just go through that phrase one more time. The living from your thoughts and feelings phrase. There's several layers there. I just want to count them up. So what do? You do what you believe.
What you believe you need to do.
Believe you need to do
in order to attempt to create what you love.
Create what you right. Okay.
It's a means to an end.
So there's at least 2 or possibly 3 layers in that, which you have to sort of fight your way through. And when you get to the other end, it's probably not what you love anyway.
It's never what you love.
It's never what you love.
No, it's never what you love.
So as an intuitive entrepreneur, you cut through all that crap, basically. And
Absolutely.
You figure out what you love, or you intuitively find out what you love, and then you go for it.
Absolutely. And you build vehicles and structures to support and perpetuate what you love. And it's all about what you love. And when you've created what you love, you can also, as an intuitive entrepreneur, let go of the structures that created it. Whereas the other thing down here is that we get so caught up in the structures and the systems, thinking that they're the goose that lays the golden egg. And so get so caught up in that. Staffing problems and computer problems and
relate to all that
stuff. Whereas living as an intuitive entrepreneur, it's all about creating what you love. And you can quite freely, if it's true, if it rings true, let go of the structure that created that if it's not true anymore. If it served its end results, then you let it go. And whereas if it's created your end result, then you can wipe the slate clean. What else do I love? And then employ those resources and create even more momentum.
God, it sounds a much lighter way of living.
Absolutely.
Because I know entrepreneurs who, as you say, build structures which don't necessarily work that well, but they are delivering an income or lifestyle or something, And then and if there's any threat to it, they're kind of clinging on to it, and there's no room in their kind of thinking, if you like, or there's no room in their awareness to go any further, to look at anything else that they might love.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm only slightly speaking from experience here. It's a friend of mine.
But for instance, I know as an example, Richard Branson works with that model, where he'll invest, very heavily in a certain business. Like I know, for example, with Virgin Blue in Australia, he
That's
invests,
an airline.
the airline
Yeah.
is equivalent to Virgin Atlantic.
Right.
And he basically invests everything into that, builds it up, and once floats it, and then he'll negotiate virtually to sell half of it once he's got to a certain point to another investor.
Right.
Actually takes those funds, actually pulls out of the actual operations of
Yeah.
the business, but negotiates the fact that because a lot of the weight's in the brand and the systems that he's put in place. That's what I mean. It's like he's created that end result and then moves on. You know, he's got his end results, moves on with those funds to start off something else that he wants to do.
Yeah.
And all the things that he gets into are the things that he loves. Like I'm just about to go on a balloon flight, which is the gift that you guys gave me at the Renaissance in October.
What's happening now, is it?
Which is a Virgin balloon flight.
Is
Totally
it?
booked
Cool.
it. And the guy loves ballooning and adventuring. And he's got a whole creative business around it.
Buy a load of balloons.
And honestly, you try to book a balloon flight, they're all around the country.
Right.
And unless you can book it well in advance, they just fill up. It's extraordinary.
No, he's a phenomenon. Really is. Okay, and the Intuitive Entrepreneur is on.
It's in December.
In December,
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's again we'll put the dates up there, but
Yeah,
I think it's
okay.
the second weekend.
The second weekend of December. Okay,
Yeah.
right, just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, just in time for Christmas.
Perfect. Well, I'm definitely going to come along to that, Darren, because the whole the business investing entrepreneurial thing is just part of who I am, really. I think anyway. Okay, we have some doubts, but listen, thanks, Darren, for the time you spent today. It's
Pleasure.
been really,
Thank you,
really good. And I think there is one question, isn't there, that we could leave our viewer with, which is,
What do you love?
what do you love? What would you love to create? Yeah.
It's the best question you can ask yourself, and just keep asking yourself
Yeah.
in any situation.
Any situation,
Even
daily.
if you're hungry and you're walking down a street of blind, what would I love?
What would I love? Yeah. Perfect. There you go. There's a question to be pondering for the next few days, hours, weeks, months, lifetime. Thank you very much, Dan. Much appreciated.
Pleasure all. Thank you.
Cheers, Dan. Bye-bye.